In what is the latest and loveliest inclusion of our ever-popular Range Rover lineup, we have of course a full facelift 2014 Range Rover Sport, an SE trim in particular, and not only is this vehicle a lot more affordable than when it was new, that's for sure, in 2014, this was around a £50,000-60,000 car, in some cases more, depending on its spec. This one though is under £13,000, which is an incredible amount of vehicle for the money, and for that you actually get the most in-demand engine for one of these, which is the 3-litre TD V6. In particular though, there are two huge advantages of that engine, especially when you compare it to the previous generations of Range Rover. Number one is its efficiency. That means of course fantastic economy, so much better in fact than what you would ever think a Range Rover, let alone a Range Rover Sport, could ever be capable of. But as the even better bonus on top of that, particularly now in 2024, moving into 2025 with our current huge tax brackets on certain vehicles, the Range Rover in previous forms is one of those which sometimes gets stung. Not so here, because simultaneously this can average up to 39 miles to the gallon, which is remarkable for any Range Rover, let alone a Range Rover Sport as mentioned, and on the motorway, as you would expect, it's even better, over 40 in fact, with a peak of 42 being possible. But going hand in hand with that efficiency and economy is that tax. As mentioned, it hugely undercuts even some previous generations of Range Rover, some of which are being stung for over £700 a year on tax. This particular vehicle in comparison is £385. So of course a massive immediate saving from the moment you drive away, but certainly an ongoing saving every year as well. Now as you can see, it is of course finished in a lovely metallic grey. It's chorus grey in particular, with that matching and certainly very complementary grey leather interior as well. And in terms of its history, its condition, it's certainly a vehicle which shows signs of living a very, very relaxed, very easy and very pampered life, because its original keeper was Harwood's Land Rover themselves. It's only had two private keepers ever since, and with a full service history behind it. In fact, it's all important, cam belt has already been done, and it was most recently serviced in March of this year, barely 3,000 miles ago. Still of course has its original two keys and book pack intact, and in addition to that already fantastic price tag, if you so chose, it is available with low deposit finance as well. Now of course, being a Range Rover, luxury is always the first and foremost thing, and it is very, very well spec'd. It comes of course with a touchscreen display, dual zone climate control, Bluetooth, auxiliary and USB connectivity, naturally cruise control as you'd expect, built-in sat-nav, and of course parking sensors, making a vehicle like this so much easier to drive than anything with this kind of road presence and space really has any right to be. This particular generation of Range Rover is a lovely car to drive, and if you haven't had the chance to yet, you are definitely in for a treat, because regardless of the trim level, regardless of the engine, they are lovely cars. And of course, when it comes to its engine being a 3-litre TD V6, it's not just great fuel economy, it has plenty of power and a huge amount of low-end torque, which of course equates to pulling power. So if you were to, for example, use it as a holiday car, well, it's certainly capable of that, with 250 horses, 440 foot-pounds of torque. So across the board, it ticks every box, from power to efficiency, economy, even road tax, and all for a superb price. So if you are on the market for a Range Rover and this particular one catches your eye, as well it should, it's a lovely example, then of course you could reach out regarding it via the email address shown right here on screen, or of course give us a call on 01749 871 155 or on our mobile number of 07482 267 439.